Hello everyone, in this video it's a continuous discussion regarding the climate change, but here is the last part of Unit 4, which is talking about the ocean acidification. What are the causes and effects of the acidification? Research indicates that by 2100 coral reefs may erode faster than they can be rebuilt. This means that we will lose a lot of ecosystems related to coral reef, and this could compromise the viability of these ecosystems. And they estimated 1 million species that depends on coral reef habitat. Why coral reef? Because they are made by calcium carbonate, and the acidification means by the increased level of the carbon dioxide in the ocean will finally create the acidity of the ocean, which is not good for the structure of the calcium carbonate, which is inside the coral reefs. There are several videos, links over here. You can find these videos in the managed bag together with this video that I'm talking right now. So, ocean acidification. Here is the graph. The ocean absorbs about 25% of the CO2. Right, 25% of the CO2 emitted into the atmosphere. The CO2 which was emitted into the atmosphere, 25% of this CO2 will be absorbed by the ocean. So, or therefore, as atmospheric CO2 increases, then the level of the CO2 in the ocean will be increased as well. So they are following the same pattern. Here is the graph: atmospheric CO2 ppmv, part per million volume. The level of the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is increasing, and at the same time you will see that this is blue. The level of the seawater carbon dioxide will increase as well, and because by the increase of the level of the carbon dioxide and dissolve into the water, definitely the pH goes down, and you will see that there is a correlation, a negative correlation between the increase of the CO2 and the decrease of the pH. Since 1800, the pH of the seawater has fallen by 0.1 pH units. And since the pH scale is logarithmic, this represents approximately a 30% increase in acidity. So each pH changes from, like if the pH change from let's say 5 to 4, because it's logarithmic, this means that this pH it's 10 times more acidic. But if from pH 4 goes to pH 3, again 10 times acidic here. But what does that mean? This means that if a pH goes from pH 5 to pH 3 because of this logarithmic, then we will say it is 100 times more acidic. That's too much. 100 times more acidic from pH 5, for example, to pH 3, and that's how we interpret based on the pH level. Estimates of future carbon dioxide levels indicate that by 2100, seawater could be nearly 150% more acidic. A further decrease of 0.5 pH to a level not seen for more than 20 million years. So the decreased level of around 0.5 pH means that it hasn't been observed during the last 20 million years. So it's too much emission of the carbon dioxide followed by the acidification of the ocean. So I think I've already explained the graph. The graph shows the correlation between rising level of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere at Mauna Loa with rising carbon dioxide levels in the nearby ocean at the station of Aloha. As more carbon dioxide accumulates in the ocean, the pH of the ocean decreases. That's what I explained over here. All right. In this slide, you will see the different chemical molecules, the different structures once the carbon dioxide is dissolving into the water. It can form the variety of the molecules. It could be as a dissolved free CO2 inside the water. It could be as a form of carbonic acid, H2CO3. It could be as a form of bicarbonates, and it could be as a form of carbonates. So there are different forms of the carbon dioxide once it is going to the water as a form of free carbonate, carbonic acid, or bicarbonate. And all these formations will be together with the release of the hydrogen protons, and this will change the pH of the seawater. And these hydrogen ions, the more hydrogen ions means the pH goes down and the more acidic environment. Here is a very nice and good example of what happens if the ocean becomes more acidified. This is the pteropod, which is a tiny sea creature about the size of a small pea. Pteropods or theropods are a major food source for many animals, including North Pacific juvenile salmon. These photos are showing what happens to a pteropod shell once they are placed into the seawater with the pH and carbonates level projected for the year 2100. It's a very nice experiment that they have put these pteropods into the same level of the pH of the seawater, which is going to happen in 2100. And before putting in the seawater, you will see that it has this shiny structure of the shell, and then after 15 days, and after 30 days, and after 45 days. And marine calcifying species, there are different and many types of calcifying species, including oysters, clams, sea urchins, shallow water corals, deep sea corals, and also calcareous planktons. All of them are at risk, and these type of organisms or species, they need to absorb carbonate ions from the seawater and to make the calcium carbonate. And this is necessary for the skeletons, to make their skeletons. What are the benefits of increasing the level of the carbon dioxide? It has the beneficial for photosynthetic algae and seagrasses, because CO2 is the reason for doing the photosynthesis, and it's the limiting factor. By increasing the level of carbon dioxide, photosynthesis also increase. And here is the last slide. This is a very nice discussion and debate over here. You can find the video later. It's about skeptical science. Once the human is claiming that human activities are not causing climate change, and is this correct? Is this true? And what do you think about that? Whether it be in a newspaper, television, or on the internet. So the point is, it's important to realize that not all sources are trustworthy, and it is important to know that the motivation of those publishing claims on either side of the debate. It's very nice, it's very funny, this video, and I invite you to watch this video while I have make it together with the last slide. So you can pause the video and read these skeptical science related news, and if you are interested, you can also go to this link and read some skeptical science. Here we go, and thank you for watching, and here is the end of Unit 4 Ecology, and that's all.